You know someone who never asks for respect but always gets it, never begs for attention but commands it instantly, never tries to prove their worth but everyone assumes they're valuable. What do they have that you don't? It's not money. I've seen broke people with this power. It's not looks. I've seen average-looking people who mesmerize everyone around them. It's not even intelligence. Some of the smartest people I know get ignored completely. What they have is invisible, but it's so powerful that it changes every interaction they have. Here's what shocked me. This secret has been hiding in plain sight for over 500 years. Machiavelli wrote, "The world's most influential people use it daily, yet 99% of people live their entire lives without knowing it exists." Today, I'm going to reveal this hidden trait, and I'm going to show you exactly how to develop it starting right now. But here's my warning. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. You'll start noticing who has real power and who's just pretending. You'll understand why some people get everything they want while others get nothing. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose to become the hidden force that shapes reality. Ready? Let's uncover Machiavelli's most dangerous secret. Number 1. The invisible power discovery. You've been lied to your whole life, told that power comes from being loud, aggressive, or demanding. That's fake power. That's what weak people do when they're desperate for control. Real power works in silence. It operates in the shadows. It influences without anyone realizing they're being influenced. Think about the most powerful person you know personally. Not celebrities or politicians. Someone you've actually met. Do they scream for attention? Do they brag about their achievements? Do they try to dominate every conversation? I bet they don't. They have something else. Something that makes people naturally gravitate toward them. Something that creates respect without demanding it. I call this invisible dominance, and it's the most unfair advantage any human being can possess. While everyone else is competing for attention, you'll command it. While they're fighting to be heard, people will hang on your every word. While they're struggling to be taken seriously, you'll be automatically respected. But here's what makes this truly devastating. Nobody will realize you're doing anything at all. You know what average people do? They broadcast everything. Their emotions, thoughts, plans, weaknesses. They're like walking advertisements for their own vulnerabilities. Invisible dominance keeps everyone guessing. It makes people work to understand you. It creates a magnetic mystery that draws others in while keeping you in complete control. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." This is the foundation of invisible dominance, controlling what people see while keeping your real power hidden. Most people think influence comes from being the biggest, loudest presence in any situation. That's amateur thinking. Real influence comes from being the force nobody sees coming until it's too late to resist. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My mystery is my strength. My silence is my weapon. Number 2. Why predictable people always lose. Let me destroy a belief that's probably killing your influence right now. Most people think being open and transparent makes them trustworthy. Actually, it makes them controllable. When people can read your every emotion, predict your every reaction, and know exactly how you'll respond to any situation, they own you. You become their puppet. If everyone around you knows what you're thinking, feeling, and planning at all times, you have zero power. You're not being authentic. You're being foolish. Look at anyone who consistently gets what they want from others. Do they tell everyone their business? Do they react emotionally to every situation? Do they explain all their decisions to whoever asks? Never. They keep their cards close. They reveal information strategically, not emotionally. They understand that predictability is the enemy of power. When someone knows how you'll react to criticism, they can use criticism to control you. When they know what praise makes you happy, they can manipulate you with flattery. When they understand your triggers, they can push those buttons whenever it serves them. Machiavelli once said, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." But here's the real insight. You can judge someone's power by how much they keep hidden. Smart people treat information like gold. Weak people give it away for free, then wonder why they get used and discarded. Every time you overshare, you lose leverage. Every time you overreact, you lose respect. Every time you over-explain, you lose authority. The goal isn't to be mysterious for no reason. The goal is to be strategic about what you reveal, when you reveal it, and to whom. Information is currency. Every piece you give away is power you lose. Every emotion you broadcast is a weapon you hand to people who might use it against you. Being unreadable isn't about being fake. It's about being smart. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am unreadable, unpredictable, and unstoppable. Number 3. The silent observer's secret weapon. Here's a truth that will change every conversation you have. The person asking questions controls the conversation, not the person answering them. Most people think talking more means contributing more. They think if they're not speaking, they're not adding value. They rush to fill every silence because quiet makes them uncomfortable. This is their biggest mistake and your greatest opportunity. While everyone else is talking, you're learning. While they're revealing their strategies, you're discovering their weaknesses. While they're performing, you're gathering intelligence. Silent observation gives you superpowers that talkers will never have. You start noticing things others miss completely. You see what topics make people uncomfortable. You notice what words trigger strong reactions. You spot the lies, the insecurities, the hidden agendas. People give you this information for free because they're too busy talking to realize what they're revealing. But here's the smart part. This isn't about being antisocial. You're still engaged. You're still contributing. You're just doing it with precision instead of impulse. You ask thoughtful questions that make people reveal more than they intended. You make observations that show you're really listening. You contribute insights at exactly the right moment for maximum impact. But you don't volunteer personal information. You don't fill awkward silences with nervous chatter. You don't feel the need to have an opinion about everything. Machiavelli once said, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved." But here's what he really meant. When people can't read you, they don't know whether to love you, fear you, or respect you, so they do all three. Every conversation becomes a game where you're always ahead because you're the only one playing strategically while everyone else just reacts. People start seeking your advice because they see you as someone who truly listens. They trust your judgment because you don't rush to conclusions. They value your opinions because you don't share them carelessly. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I speak with purpose, listen with power, and observe with advantage. Number 4. The scarcity power move. Here's a law of human psychology that most people violate every day. Scarcity creates value, availability destroys it. If you're always there for everyone, you become background noise. If you say yes to every request, your agreement becomes meaningless. If you respond to every message instantly, People stop appreciating your attention. You train the world to take you for granted. But when you become selectively available, something powerful happens. Your presence becomes significant. Your attention becomes valuable. Your time becomes precious. This isn't about playing games. This is about understanding basic human nature. People value what's rare and ignore what's common. Think about anything valuable in this world. Is it available everywhere, all the time, to everyone? Of course not. Gold is valuable because it's rare. Diamonds are precious because they're scarce. Masterpieces are priceless because they're unique. Your attention should work the same way. When you make yourself strategically scarce, people start working to earn your time instead of expecting it. Your presence becomes an event instead of a given. Your opinions carry weight because people know you don't share them lightly. Machiavelli once said, "Men in general judge more by the sense of sight than by the sense of touch, for everyone can see but few can test by feeling." Most people judge your value by how easily they can access you. Make access too easy, and they'll assume you're not that valuable. How this works: you don't answer every call immediately. You respond when it fits your schedule. You don't accept every invitation. You choose the ones worth your time. You don't drop everything when someone demands your attention. You give it when you decide it's appropriate. This forces people to earn your attention through respect instead of expecting it through entitlement. It makes your engagement a privilege instead of a right. When you do show up, people notice. When you do contribute, it carries weight. When you do engage, everyone pays attention because they know you don't waste your energy on trivial things. Your scarcity becomes your strength. Your selectivity becomes your power. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My time is precious. My presence is powerful. Number 5. Strategic presence mastery. Most people think being present means showing up everywhere, participating in everything, and having an opinion about every topic. They attend every event, join every conversation, and try to be involved in every decision. They think more presence equals more influence. They're completely wrong. Strategic presence isn't about being everywhere. It's about being somewhere important at exactly the right moment with perfect timing. When you master this, you don't just attend events, you become the event that people remember. Here's the difference. Random presence makes you forgettable. Strategic presence makes you unforgettable. Instead of trying to be part of every discussion, you choose the discussions that matter. Instead of attending every gathering, you appear where your presence creates maximum impact. Instead of speaking whenever you have something to say, you speak when your words will resonate most powerfully. This requires discipline that most people don't have. It means saying no to good opportunities so you can dominate great ones. It means missing some moments so the moments you choose become legendary. Machiavelli once said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." Strategic presence is knowing when to be the observant fox and when to be the commanding lion. Sometimes the smartest move is staying invisible, watching and learning. Other times, the right move is stepping forward and taking control. The power lies in reading situations perfectly and responding with precision. When you enter strategically, the energy shifts. When you speak strategically, your words echo long after you've finished. When you act strategically, results follow. But when you're everywhere constantly, you become part of the scenery. When you talk endlessly, your words lose meaning. When you react to everything, people stop taking you seriously. Strategic presence also means knowing when to leave. The person who knows when to exit a conversation or situation often creates the strongest impression. You want people wishing you had stayed longer, never wondering when you'll finally leave. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose my moments, control my presence. Number 6. Emotional control mastery. Here's where most people lose the game. They let other people's actions control their emotions, and their emotions control their responses. Every day, people try to manipulate you. They use praise to make you drop your guard. They use criticism to make you defensive. They use pressure to make you hasty. They use flattery to make you careless. If you react emotionally to these tactics, they win. You lose. Emotional mastery isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about feeling everything but responding to nothing unless that response serves your goals. When someone insults you, feel the anger, but don't show it unless showing it gives you an advantage. When someone flatters you, enjoy the praise, but don't become addicted to their validation. When someone pressures you, acknowledge their urgency, but don't let it rush you into bad decisions. Your emotions are information, not instructions. Most people confuse being authentic with being reactive. They think expressing every feeling immediately makes them honest. This makes them weak, predictable, and easy to control. Machiavelli once said, "Whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past, for human events ever resemble those of preceding times." The pattern never changes. Emotional people get controlled. Controlled people stay powerful. Here's what this looks like in real life. Someone tries to make you angry, so you'll say something they can use against you later. Instead of taking the bait, you pause, think, and respond strategically, or don't respond at all. Someone creates fake urgency to force you into a poor decision. Instead of panicking, you take the time you need to make the right choice, ignoring their artificial timeline. Someone uses guilt or fear to manipulate your behavior. Instead of falling for it, you recognize the manipulation, consider your real options, and do what serves your interests. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you powerful. When chaos erupts and you stay calm, people look to you for leadership. When others panic and you remain rational, people trust your judgment. When emotions run high and you maintain control, people see you as the solution. Number 7. The power of strategic silence. Silence is the most powerful weapon you're probably not using, and most people are terrified of it. They think silence means they're not contributing. They think quiet moments are awkward and must be filled. They think if they're not talking, they're not adding value. All wrong. Strategic silence is more powerful than any words you could speak. It creates space for others to reveal their true thoughts. It builds tension that makes your eventual words carry enormous weight. It demonstrates confidence that no amount of talking could achieve. But there's a difference between awkward silence and strategic silence. Random quiet just makes you seem uncomfortable. Strategic silence makes you seem powerful and in control. When to use this weapon? After making an important point, let it sink in instead of immediately explaining or justifying it. When someone asks a loaded question designed to trap you, pause, consider your options, then respond on your terms. When tensions are high and everyone else is talking over each other, your silence will make you the most noticeable person there. When someone pressures you for an immediate decision, silence buys you time and often makes them reveal their real motivations. Machiavelli once said, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." Strategic silence is dangerous because it gives you advantages others don't expect. But it requires courage most people lack. Here's the beautiful part. Most people are so uncomfortable with silence that they'll fill it with information you never asked for. They'll reveal their weaknesses, expose their strategies, and give away their negotiating positions just to avoid a few seconds of quiet. This is gold for you. While they're talking to fill the silence, you're learning. While they're revealing information, you're calculating how to use it. While they're getting nervous, you're getting more powerful. Silence also forces people to work harder for your attention. When someone knows you're not going to react to everything they say, they put more thought into what they say to you. Your words become events instead of background noise. When you finally speak after strategic silence, people lean in. They pay attention. They remember what you said because it stands out from all the meaningless chatter. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence speaks volumes. My words carry weight, and my presence commands respect. Number 8. Never reveal everything you can do. Here's a mistake that destroys more opportunities than people realize. They show all their capabilities immediately. They think demonstrating everything they can do builds instant credibility. They think proving their full potential shows their value. They think transparency equals trustworthiness. This approach kills your power. When you reveal everything up front, you eliminate mystery, destroy intrigue, and give others everything they need to counter your advantages. You become predictable, which means you become controllable. Smart people reveal their capabilities strategically, piece by piece, always keeping something in reserve. They understand that mystery maintains power, while complete transparency destroys it. This applies to everything: your skills, your resources, your knowledge, your connections. Never show your full hand in the first interaction. Never demonstrate your complete skill set unless the situation demands it. Never share everything you know just to impress people. Give people enough to stay interested, but never enough to feel like they completely understand your potential. Machiavelli once said, "He who neglects what is done for what ought to be done sooner effects his ruin than his preservation." Most people think they should be completely open about their abilities, but this destroys their strategic position. Keeping capabilities hidden serves multiple purposes. It allows you to surprise people when they underestimate you. It gives you flexibility to adapt based on new information. It prevents others from developing countermeasures to your strengths. It creates ongoing curiosity that keeps people engaged. But here's the important distinction. You're not being deceptive. You're being selective about what you reveal and when. You answer questions honestly, but you don't volunteer information nobody requested. You demonstrate competence, but you don't showcase your complete arsenal unless necessary. This works everywhere. Others can't copy what they don't know about. People can't take you for granted when they're still discovering what you're capable of. You can't be manipulated using information you haven't revealed. Your hidden capabilities become secret weapons. Your concealed knowledge becomes strategic advantage. Your unrevealed resources become insurance policies. People respect what they can see, but they're fascinated by what they can't see. Fascination creates influence, and influence generates power. Number 9. Creating uncertainty that works for you. Here's a psychological principle that gives you massive leverage. People make mistakes when they're uncertain, and powerful people create uncertainty in others while staying certain themselves. When people can't predict your next move, they start questioning their own strategies. When they can't read your intentions, they become cautious. When they don't know where they stand with you, they work harder to earn your approval. This isn't about being difficult. It's about understanding that certainty makes people lazy, while uncertainty keeps them sharp and engaged. Think about any situation where one person is completely predictable. The other person stops trying because they know exactly what to expect. There's no challenge, no mystery, no reason to invest effort. But when there's strategic uncertainty, when someone can surprise you or keep you guessing in positive ways, that dynamic stays alive and interesting. This applies to every interaction. When people know exactly how you'll react to everything, they stop respecting your reactions. When they can predict your responses, they can manipulate them. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But here's the deeper truth. It's even better to be unpredictable than either feared or loved, because unpredictable people are respected. How you create productive uncertainty. Sometimes respond quickly, sometimes take time. Don't be random, be strategic. Quick responses when speed serves you. Delayed responses when patience gives you advantage. Vary your emotional temperature appropriately. Sometimes be warm, sometimes be cooler. People will work harder to earn your warmth when they can't take it for granted. Don't always be available when people expect you to be. Have genuine priorities and commitments that sometimes take precedence. Mix your decision-making timeline. Sometimes decide quickly when you have enough information. Sometimes take time when the situation requires deeper thought. This keeps people engaged in their interactions with you. They can't coast because they never know exactly what to expect. Remember, the goal is creating interest and engagement, not anxiety. Uncertainty should generate curiosity, not stress. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I am predictable in my values, unpredictable in my methods. Number 10. Becoming the hidden force. Now comes the real work. Actually becoming someone who operates with invisible dominance instead of just understanding it. This transformation isn't about changing your personality. It's about upgrading your strategy. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming the most powerful version of yourself. First, eliminate 3 habits that are sabotaging your influence. Eliminate the need for constant validation. Stop seeking approval from everyone in every situation. Your worth isn't determined by other people's opinions, and chasing their approval makes you weak and predictable. Eliminate the urge to over-explain everything. When you make a decision, you don't owe everyone a detailed explanation. When you set a boundary, you don't need to apologize. When you say no, no is enough. Eliminate emotional reacting. Feel your emotions, process them privately, then respond strategically. Your first emotional impulse is rarely your best strategic choice. Machiavelli once said, "The best fortress which a prince can possess is the affection of the people." But your best fortress is self-control, because people can't manipulate what they can't predict or control. Now build these new habits. Always pause before responding to anything important. This gives you time to think strategically instead of reacting emotionally. It also makes your response carry more weight. Ask questions instead of just making statements. Questions give you information while controlling the conversation. Statements just reveal your position. Become selectively available based on value, not just convenience. Your time should be earned through respect, not just expected. Speak with precision. Every word should serve a purpose. Eliminate filler words, unnecessary explanations, and attention-seeking statements. The goal is becoming someone who influences situations without anyone realizing how much control you have. You want to be the person others turn to for leadership without you demanding it. You want to be the one whose opinion carries weight without you arguing for it. The one whose presence changes the energy without you announcing yourself. This is invisible dominance in action, maximum influence with minimum effort, maximum respect with minimum drama, maximum power with minimum resistance. Here's what you need to remember. True power works in shadows, while fake power performs in spotlights. While everyone else fights for attention, you'll build real influence. While they demand respect through noise, you'll earn it through strategy. While they try to control people through force, you'll control situations through invisible dominance. This hidden trait isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop. It's not personality, it's strategy. And like any skill, it gets stronger every time you use it. Every day gives you opportunities to practice invisible dominance. Every conversation is a chance to listen more and reveal less. Every decision is an opportunity to act strategically instead of emotionally. Every interaction is a moment to demonstrate the power of being unreadable. Start today. Start with your next conversation. Instead of trying to impress someone, focus on understanding them. Instead of filling silence, use it strategically. Instead of reacting to their energy, control your own. Most people will never learn this because they're too busy trying to be noticed to realize that the most powerful people work from the shadows. They're too focused on being heard to understand that real influence comes from strategic listening. But you're different now. You understand that mystery is strength, silence is power, and invisible dominance is the ultimate advantage. The world is full of people demanding attention and respect. Be the person who earns both without asking for either. Be the hidden force that shapes reality. If this video changed how you think about power and influence, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to see this. Subscribe for more strategies that give you real advantages in life. Remember, the most dangerous person in any situation is the one everyone underestimates because they can't read them, predict them, or control them. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am the hidden force that shapes my reality through invisible dominance and strategic action. Now go become unstoppable. When to leave. The person who knows when to exit a conversation or situation often creates the strongest impression. You want people wishing you had stayed longer, never wondering when you'll finally leave. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose my moments, control my presence. Number 6. Emotional control mastery. Here's where most people lose the game. They let other people's actions control their emotions, and their emotions control their responses. Every day, people try to manipulate you. They use praise to make you drop your guard. They use criticism to make you defensive. They use pressure to make you hasty. They use flattery to make you careless. If you react emotionally to these tactics, they win. You lose. Emotional mastery isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about feeling everything but responding to nothing unless that response serves your goals. When someone insults you, feel the anger, but don't show it unless showing it gives you an advantage. When someone flatters you, enjoy the praise, but don't become addicted to their validation. When someone pressures you, acknowledge their urgency, but don't let it rush you into bad decisions. Your emotions are information, not instructions. Most people confuse being authentic with being reactive. They think expressing every feeling immediately makes them honest. This makes them weak, predictable, and easy to control. Machiavelli once said, "Whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past, for human events ever resemble those of preceding times. The pattern never changes. Emotional people get controlled. Controlled people stay powerful. Here's what this looks like in real life. Someone tries to make you angry, so you'll say something they can use against you later. Instead of taking the bait, you pause, think, and respond strategically, or don't respond at all. Someone creates fake urgency to force you into a poor decision. Instead of panicking, you take the time you need to make the right choice, ignoring their artificial timeline. Someone uses guilt or fear to manipulate your behavior. Instead of falling for it, you recognize the manipulation, consider your real options, and do what serves your interests. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you powerful. When chaos erupts and you stay calm, people look to you for leadership. When others panic and you remain rational, people trust your judgment. When emotions run high and you maintain control, people see you as the solution. Number 7. The power of strategic silence. Silence is the most powerful weapon you're probably not using, and most people are terrified of it. They think silence means they're not contributing. They think quiet moments are awkward and must be